Okay, a while back I mentioned how Marvel has heavily talked about they want to do a female superhero film, but just can't seem to find the time to do it. It doesn't help, too, that one of their primary female leads, Scarlett Johansson, is, at the time of this video, she is currently pregnant, and seeing as that really impacted Avengers 2, you know, the lifetime, essentially the cycle of the pregnancy, and then trying to get back into shape in the new motherhood, puts a pretty good size, you know, like 2-year window when you really can't do a film. I mean, if you were to start doing a film right afterwards, it still takes a while to get that film done, all the, post-production. So now Sony has come out and said that they want to be one of the first ones to get that female superhero film out in front of the masses. You know, to be the very, very first one to do it, not like Barbed Wire, Tank Girl, Supergirl, Catwoman, Elektra, Vampirella, if you want to consider that. Stripperella technically would somewhat qualify as well. So we want to be the first one to do it, I guess, in this decade. You're probably thinking, okay, so Sony's going to do that. Okay. What are they going to use? They're going to use a female character from the Spider-Man universe. Sorry. Spider-Man universe. And I read lots of articles about it. You can tell the people who know comics who they pick. Those who don't know comics, who they pick. If they don't know comics, a lot of people are picking, they'll go Spider-Woman, who isn't owned by Sony because she's not part of the Spider-Man universe. Essentially has name only. Then like people went, she'd be Spider-Girl. Spider-Girl had a tremendous fan base. However, if you're going with the daughter of Peter Parker and Mary Jane, when Mary Jane hasn't even been introduced yet into the Amazing Spider-Man Sony universe, that's going to be kind of awkward. Because you'll then have your current storyline and a storyline set about 20 years in the future. That's going to be kind of hard to try to get those two to reconcile. I'll go throw out Silver Sable. Unique, interesting character, yes. However, it'll be hard to put her on the screen and not have people think that, oh, this is a Black Widow ripoff. You know, that's going to be the big issue there. And then people occasionally throw out Black Cat. They've already got Felicia Harding inside the Amazing Spider-Man universe. And I'll be honest, if done just right, she is a perfect female character to have alongside Spider-Man. Because Black Cat and Spider-Man have kind of a, kind of a thing going on, kind of. And Peter Parker and Felicia occasionally have a thing going on. It also allows you to have a character that will be a female character that actually has, superpowers. Not, flying all, but actually has a level of like enhanced strength, flexibility, reflexes, agility. So someone who will be almost pretty close to a female match to Spider-Man. Which means that when it comes to doing their fight sequences, you can very easily go, well, they're similar. Spider-Man, of course, will have a greater skill set. It'll be probably a little bit faster. But Black Cat will be able to keep up with him. Which means you can have fight scenes that would be very interesting to do between the male and female leads. As well as she would be great when he's taking on multiple enemies at one time. Because you have two people with somewhat similar power sets when it comes to the amount of strength, agility, and things of that nature. So it almost make it like a really nice duo of two people who will be relatively equal when it comes to their overall skill sets. Skill sets when relate to their power set. And that could actually be a very interesting sort of story to do. You have that nice dichotomy, which you really haven't had since the Daredevil film. I know people that like the Daredevil movie. Watch the extended cut with the additional scenes in there. It makes a lot better film because it focuses a lot more on the lawyer aspect and then throws the superhero portions in there as well. Far superior film. Elektra, yeah, it's unsalvageable. Now, that of course ends up being the bulk of this video discussing. I think Sony should go with Black Cat. Black Cat works. It's a character that was done in the cartoons. In the cartoons, she worked beautifully. There's enough of history with the character. It's already been introduced. It'd be a lot easier to work on. Something else that I read when they talk about the female superhero things is they almost constantly want to bring up Iron Man 3 and Gwyneth Paltrow. Yes, I know for certain people, Gwyneth Paltrow is the end-all, be-all of all things fantastic and magical. She's more perfect than a unicorn Pegasus. And people bring up, her ending sequence in Iron Man 3. And it's weird because people always bring that one, but they don't seem to want to talk about Dark Knight Rises, where you had Anne Hathaway's Catwoman, who fought alongside Batman. And when Batman was facing Bane, was the person who showed up on a Batpod and shot him, and pretty much defeated Bane. I know I could probably do a whole video discussing the Dark Knight trilogy, the Nolan verse, and the Iron Man trilogy, and the amount of things where they actually overlap. I can't say that they stole ideas from each other, because when it comes to the time you have for script writing, for production, for post-production, unless something were to happen and you're to be in the middle of doing some shoots, that you could work some of that in, you have two people who have similar thoughts that are just running parallel to each other. One might come out a little bit beforehand, but unless the two people are talking to each other, this film's out, this film is pretty much completed. But it's always weird that no one wants to bring up, that Anne Hathaway had a very strong female lead portion in The Dark Knight Rises. But Gwyneth Paltrow pretty much getting injected by the main villain to get a superpower, and then helping Tony defeat the bad guy, that's this huge moment where woman independently trained is a relative equal to the main character without any sort of bizarre injections. No one wants to talk about that character. So, to sum up, I think if Sony's going to go with the female character, Black Cat would probably be the way to go. The suit, I know they're going to tweak it because, black and white, probably isn't going to work very well. They'll probably do some sort of, like midriff bearing, as long as they don't take it from traditional Catwoman, and by traditional I'm talking more like Bruce Timm style, where it's predominantly, gray bodysuit with black accents. If they don't go from like that side to like Halle Berry, this is what you see people walking around in Las Vegas on the weekends, it should work. Black Cat, classic design, nice character, decent amount of background when it comes to her relationship with Peter Parker and relationship with Spider-Man, and she's already been introduced to the universe.